What is up, you guys? Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew. Don't get it twisted, Lapache, and this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you so much for joining us. Always appreciate you guys, stopping by, listening to us ramble about the ongoings of boxing, as we like to do. Throw in our 2 cents, our opinions, and our little conspiracy theories of what's going on inside and outside of the sport. There was a couple of fights this weekend, pretty entertaining main events, if I do say so myself. A couple of upsets, a couple of close calls. I hear people yelling robbery. I hear people selling favoritism. I'm hearing this and that from Ortiz and Boachuk, and then a top ranked card with a fantastic upset with Angelo Leo and Venado Lopez. Great, pretty solid fights, I gotta say myself. But we will get into those momentarily because there's plenty of other stuff to talk about. Everything from how Crawford and Israel Madrimov did on the numbers. We want to talk about that, of course, amongst other topics. But we will definitely get into those momentarily. Before we do so, Andrew, what is happening, dude? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Miguel? Sorry we're coming a day late, you guys. It was my anniversary this weekend. Me and Christina took off for the weekend, had a little fun, no kids. Um, Went down to Reno. It goes to Hot August Nights. Went and had some good dinner and gambled just a little. I gambled just a little this time. Didn't do too much. I was mostly at the sports book, throwing away $5 at a time. I was like, here's my parlay ticket for 10 grand if I win, babe. 10 grand. First game, lost. Second game, lost. Fuck. This is not starting off good.
Yeah.
No, but it's all for fun. What was the closest I got? Christina got close. Told you, dude, 4 out of 5 on boxing. She takes all of my picks. I don't know why, Miguel. I don't do the boxing one. She put them all together. Last time it was the Frank Martin and Benavidez, and Gervonta Davis, and she was 4 for 4. And this time, 4 for 5. And she laid down. Yeah, she laid some money on it, man. It came close. We got the upset on the top rank card. That was a cool one. The other one didn't come through. And then we had the main event on the zone. I took the over. I took the over on the main event, bro, because I was a little nervous that both power punchers are going to be kind of cautious. Well, that wasn't the case, but it still got the over.
It got the over, yeah.
Yeah, so you say that was on accident.
We thought it was going to go, and it still got the over.
Yeah.
Man,
but overall, good weekend. Overall, good weekend. Great weekend.
When you do the parlay, I mean, it's hard to win those, right? But let's say you win those, ideally, would it be like ideal to let's say you get 5, right? And you're like, shit, the first one hits, the second one hits, blah, blah, blah. Is that like carrot on the stick for that fifth one to not hit? Like, is that worse, or is it better or worse for the first one to be gone and like, oh fuck it, okay, whatever, throw it away, I'm done, I'm not even thinking about it? Because it seems like it's more agonizing to go through all the ones that you hit and then the very last one you don't, or something like that.
You're absolutely right. You got to throw that ticket out as soon as the game. As soon as you lose, bro, get rid of the ticket, because I swear to God, the rest of them are going to come in. I put that on everything. Yeah, they'll make you look like a genius, bro.
Yeah.
It's just like that Gervonta take the under comes at 129,
Yeah.
Remember that? 129, bro. Get 130 into the next round. He knocks him out at 129. Awesome shit. But yeah, you always want that parlay. If you lose early, just get rid of it. It's happened multiple times where you'll look like a genius right after that loss.
Yeah, right. I took the over in the first fight between Ruiz and Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. 3 seconds short. 3 seconds fucking short. I was like, you son of a bitch. The referee couldn't have waited 3 more goddamn seconds before calling it. Be like, ask him a question like, yes, I'm good. Are you good? Yes, I'm good. Are you good? Yes, I'm good. Just 3 more seconds. That's all you got to do. No, clearly not.
I even bet on blood money this weekend, you guys. Little confession. Might lose some Raider credential here or some. Yeah. But they were giving positive numbers on the Niners and the Chiefs. Positive money line. So I put him in my parlay. Both of those pricks lost.
Oh, motherfucker.
Both of the
You should've
fucking
known
teams
better.
that I hate.
Known fucking better.
Right? And I told Christina, you know how much funner this would have been if I would have went against them? Now they're losing. I'm cheering. I'm winning money.
Yeah.
The first time, Miguel, it's the first time I went with blood money. My uncle, he's done it before, and I used to get all mad. What are you doing, Uncle? I can't believe you're betting on that game. He's like, shut up. You know, that's an easy pick, whatever. I went for the easy pick, and both of those fuckers cemented on why I hate them. They both won.
Yeah. That's understandable. I had my fair share.
They both lost. Excuse me. They both lost.
Yeah, they both lost the money.
Yeah.
Ultimately, one of my buddies put money on Shane Mosley when he beat Margarito, and I was like, man, how the fuck you going against Margarito? Shit, he just beat fucking Cotto, and he's like, bro, I just think he's gonna do it. Like, man, fuck you, bro. I get all butt hurt, and then of course he wins. I was like, damn, you buying lunch, fool?
Good call.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, damn, good call. My bad. I gotta take that one back. Shit, fucking Margarito and his plaster. All right. Well, let me go ahead and take a sip of my water here. Let's get crack-a-lackin'. Well, let's momentarily. We don't want to go too deep into this card here, but another potential KO of the year. Angelo Leo KOs Venado Lopez on the Top Rank main event. Fortunately, my buddy here, Andrew, didn't catch it, but it was a nice knockout. It was, the only reason I'm even bringing this up is because these guys are fighting at featherweight, and very, very soon, a certain Japanese fighter, Mr. Monster, might be moving up to featherweight after, in the near future, I should say, because he has a fight coming up here. He has a fight coming up against TJ Doheny in September, which is next month, defending his super bantamweight championships. Nayo, I'm talking about, in a way. And there's a very possibility that it's going to move up to 126 shortly after that. So that is kind of the weight class that I've been keeping my eye on, right? A lot of the champions at 126, seeing who he would go after first, yada, yada. And one of the guys, one of the champions, or I should say former champions, was this guy, Venado Lopez, right? And I think he's it's a close fight because he's kind of sloppy and he throws, haymakers from back here, and he leaves his face wide open, and he was getting tagged quite a bit. Angelo Leo was hitting him quite a bit, but Angelo Leo's face was just not holding up. His face started to fucking swell and close, and you can see at the end of the fight, his face was jacked up. He just didn't seem to have much power to hurt Lopez. And then miraculously, he ends up catching him with this counter left that drops him like a sack of fucking potatoes and doesn't get up. So boom, we have ourselves a new IBF featherweight champion in Angelo Leo, and in a spectacular KO, mind you, because it almost reminded me of like Burchelt and Valdez, man. It sort of was kind of one of those where we had a dominant champion in Venado, and coming into this fight, the heavy favorite. Afterwards, he's talking about potentially, well, before the fight, he's talking about should he get past this fight, he's going to possibly unify, yada, yada, put himself in a pretty good position for a potential pretty major payday if, in a way, eventually moves up to featherweight and he's one of the first champions that he goes after. He has a little bit more leverage, right? It would be nice. Well, there goes that. Because now, the Mr. Angelo Leo ends up getting himself the victory of his fucking life, because he was a champion at 122 prior. And homie Lee, when I first met Lee Honish, he actually got me into a few fights where Angelo Leo was on the undercard. It was a couple of Mayweather fights here in Vegas, and I actually thought Leo was from here because of how many times I did see him fight here. He's from New Mexico, and they fought in New Mexico, so of course the crowd absolutely erupted when he knocked out Lopez. So it was a pretty solid main event. We were watching it. Of course, me and my dad were watching Ortiz and Boacek first, and then after that, we just kind of went to the ESPN app and rewound it so we can catch it from the beginning. But damn, what a KO! I'm not sure. Did you see at least the highlights of the KO?
Yeah, I seen the KO, and it was something that wasn't supposed to happen. Like I said, I think the odds on that fight were plus 3,000. Oh. Kind of hard to get me to get away from my vacation to go watch plus 3,000, Miguel.
Right. Your anniversary.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, that was one of the reasons. But I did catch the knockout. Look, it's one of those knockouts. I don't know if the guy that is that ex-champ will ever be the same. Mm-hmm. That was a blank out. You know what I mean? He got reset basically. His brain was resetted. You know what I mean? That was a hard start. So yeah, it was ugly. knockout of the year, yes, potential will be on the list, but
Mm.
the future of him is in question as of right now. Uh,
Yeah, that was pretty serious. He said the way his head bounced off the canvas, and then afterwards there was some.
hey, he's just asleep. He's
Yeah,
just asleep.
it's like he was awake. Well, he was like asleep with his eyes open. That's how
Yeah.
bad it was. He was just like, I was like, oh shit, that was pretty serious. And they had some like footage of him later on in his locker room, kind of tearing up while Oscar Valdez was there, kind of consoling him, like talking to him, right? So it was pretty nuts, quite the KO. And I just figured I'd toss that in here real quick with the results of that because there's a potential that Inoue is going to move up to featherweight in the very near future. Of course, nothing's for sure, right? He might, for all we know, TJ Doheny ends up coming up with a fucking upset of the year as well, and he ends up, beating Inoue or something. Unlikely, of course, but in the event that Inoue wins, there's a possibility he's going to move up to featherweight, and maybe one of these champions, specifically Angelo Leo, could be the first guy on his list because, Leo's a good guy. I don't know if he's elite, but I mean, he just beat a fucking champion, right? Or, he's a 2 division champion. So we'll see how long he can hold on to this belt. That's the reason I wanted to toss that in there because wasn't the best card, but the main event was certainly fun for as long as it lasted. I think it went to 8 rounds or something like that. But anyway, thought I throw that in there and kick the show off of that and just kind of get that out of the way because the one that we want to talk about is the controversy. God damn it. I love it when fights have controversy, but at the same time, I fucking hate it because me and my dad weren't on the same fucking page. We were watching the fucking fights. Virgil Ortiz Jr. taking on Boacek, whose first name I can't pronounce like I always can't. But Serhi, I guess I don't know how it's Serhi. I don't know. I can't enough. But that I don't know. Sometimes I just have to like.
I didn't hear them say that once.
I don't know. I think it was an H. There's an H in there. I think it might be silent. But what a controversial finish to that one. What a controversial scorecard, I should say, right? That was crazy. That was crazy. 2 knockdowns that one wasn't called a knockdown first, and then later it was reversed after some, instant replay rule, I guess, kind of thing.
After some instant, listen. First off,
right.
I gotta jump in. I'm not gonna get into the fight, but we need to get that fucking bullshit straightened out. There is no way an instant replay should be discussed 4 rounds later. That's like an NFL referee blowing a whistle before a play and being like, 5 plays ago, there was a hold that we were checking up on.
Yeah.
We want to go back and, correct that situation. No, dude. You don't do that 4 rounds later.
And then they hold it during the round. Like, if they do it, wouldn't they have done it between the rounds? I mean, is that too much time? They basically stopped the fucking minute.
Did the zone not know it was a knockdown like in 5 seconds?
Oh yeah. Well, the announcer did.
Did we not see one replay and was like, he did knock him down? Mm-hmm. What the fuck? Fucking 4 rounds later? What are they bidding over there with the promoter? All right, we got a knockdown. How much money are you gonna give us to say it's not a knockdown? They start doing a bidding war. What the hell's going on, man? Yeah.
The guys watching it are like playing with the little fidget spinner, just like oh shit, that was a knockdown. Fuck, throw the knockdown. It's like where the hell were you guys 4 rounds ago? Yeah, that we can
embarrassing. Yeah, that was embarrassing, bro. 4 rounds later, they're like timeout. 1 point off of you. Because the fighter's gonna fight a different fight if he knows he's down by 2 and going in, right? Come on,
it's gonna go in with confidence.
Yes. So I didn't like that at all, but we'll get back into the fight. I just wanted to throw that in they need to correct that. We need to be a lot quicker. The NBA does replays now. I want to say, I think even Major League Baseball even does replays now. Home runs, stuff like that, and then you have football. They all get it way faster. Come on, boxing. Come on. If anything, let DAZN do it then, because they had it in 5 seconds. It wasn't even hard.
Yeah. And this isn't what we expect from the Nevada State Athletic Commission.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
We're not talking about some fucking athletic commission in Davenport, Iowa that rarely has, fights on, especially major fights, interim championship fights with potential superstars on the fucking card on the main event. These guys are experienced athletic commissions who experienced officials who do this quite regularly and kind of, I get it. They'll drop the
It
ball every
wasn't.
so often, but this is bad, dude. Like,
It wasn't hard. It wasn't
yeah,
even hard to tell. You know.
right, right. I'm trying to pull up. I remember I had the fucking scorecard up here at some point, but I can't seem to find it right now. But yeah, the scorecards I want to say was one. Was it 113 one? Oh, fuck, what the fuck was it?
113, 115, I believe, on two of them.
And then 112, 114 on or one.
116.
No, but with the knockdowns, it was different, wasn't it? Damn it, what the fuck is it? Of course, I should have had it up. But anyway,
Yes, you should have.
but I could have sworn, cause so apparently the two knockdowns that would actually make a difference, later on, came to didn't really do much. We thought that the knockdowns were actually going to count for something, and on one scorecard it was a draw, and the other two had a fucking Ortiz winning.
All right, so it's
Yeah.
113, 113 on one
Okay.
card.
All right.
It's 112, 114 on the next card, and 112, 114 on the next card. People, your boy Andrew Lapachet's scorecard reads as followed: 115 to 111 is my score for that fight, bro.
For who?
I'll tell you later.
Oh, okay. You're gonna give us a cliffhanger, goddammit. So
Let me.
go. So,
I'm gonna check. Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, as you mentioned, 113, 113, right? So let's look at that first scorecard, right? 113, 113. With those two knockdowns, it was supposed to have been 115, 113. So that's 7-5. Okay, it was close. I'll take that. The other scorecard, 112, 114 would have been what, 116 without the two without those two fucking knockdowns. So if I'm doing it right, sorry, I'm shitty at math, but that would have been 8-4, and then the other two would have been 8-4. You're telling me that really Boacek only won 4 rounds out of that fight? Seems a little sus. Plus the knockdowns, right? Wow, it was a tough fight, right? I think I like the fact that Ortiz comes out fast and just starts throwing fucking ammo from the beginning. But he did that in his last 2 fights where, well, I mean, he does it in general, but I mean, specifically when his first 2 fights at 154 pounds, and he was able to wipe the guys out fast, way the hell fast. I don't think he intended to do that, or he thought he was going to do it this time, because even leading up to the fight, he was talking about how tough an opponent Boacek is. So he knew that he was going to come in here with a tough guy. Probably should have packed the lunch, because it was going to be a long fight. But he came out swinging from the beginning, and Boacek took everything, took all of his fucking powers. Like, oh shit! And even at the end of the fight, Boacek's face was relatively clean. I was like, oh shit. But on the other hand, Ortiz's face, not so much. He got hit a lot. He got hit hard. He got dropped twice. It never looked like he was really hurt per se. Yeah, maybe slightly bell rang, but it kind of, to some degree, put into question his power at 154. Yeah, he took out 2 dudes before, more guys that are like unheralded, really. But then he goes against this interim WBC Super Welterweight champ, and he gets the victory. He gets the nod, but on a controversial level. My dad was watching it. My dad was like, you know what? He still fucking beats Crawford like that. Still. Now it's a different story, but he still thinks I still think he beats Crawford the way as bad as Crawford looked last time. And not to say that he looked bad, but it's just that the way Ortiz comes swinging, and right off the fucking out of the, what is it, like a bat out of hell, really. I'm not sure if Crawford can take that, but we're probably jumping the gun, because I wouldn't be surprised if there's a rematch with this fight. I don't know if they're going to have one, because I don't think anybody mentioned a damn thing about rematches. It looks like Boacek might end up being an Otto Wallin, and might not be hearing about him anytime soon.
We're going to see how smart Turkish Ali, His Excellency Turkey Ali Sheik, is with what he has on his hands right now. He has great potential here. Great potential.
All right. Well, yeah. So I would have been okay with the draw. I would have been okay with that. I did lean towards Boacek in this one. I thought it was much closer than those scorecards had it. At least for Boacek, especially with 2 knockdowns. I kind of feel like Marquez and Pacquiao all over again. It's like, yeah, granted, these a fuck ton of knockdowns from Pacquiao to Marquez, but Marquez wins the majority of the rounds. I don't know. I don't. I know that what they're trying to do, they're trying to protect their investment in Ortiz, but
Come on.
I think he got one of these, like, gifts in this one.
I was trying to be quiet, and you didn't let me be quiet all the way.
Damn it.
Come on, Miguel. I'm with your dad. I think I'm gonna be with your dad on this one.
All
Listen,
right, let's hear it.
There was a few reasons why Boachuk didn't win this fight. One of them was the crowd, right? Well, I always talk about I always I always talk about the crowd and how the crowd can make a judge swing one way or the other.
Sure.
In this fight, not only do you hear Virgil Ortiz fans almost respond every time he hurts, and he did hurt Boachuk multiple times in this fight. Mm-hmm. The zone is saying it, I'm seeing it, the crowd is seeing it. So everybody's seeing it. You know the judges were seeing it, right? But they're responding. Not only are they responding, I don't know if he's mic'd up or if the crowd on certain points was so low. You can hear the trainer, Robert Garcia. Mm-hmm. There you go. There you go. Great work. Great work. Good shot. And then the crowd's cheering. Then there's Robert. When they're quiet, there's Robert. Give Robert props. In a very close telephone booth fight, he's almost commentating for his fighter, right? He's there on the sideline. Oh, what a hit. Oh, good one. Oh, and he might have a ref going, man. The crowd's cheering. The coach seems happy. Oh, that was a big shot. All right, he did. Yep, that was a big shot. You are not going to win rounds that Boachuk I'm talking about. You're not going to win rounds when they're calling them even. If the zone is saying it's even, you probably lost that round.
Sure.
Right? They say that in round 3. They say he's these rounds are very even. In round 5, they announced the knockdown in the first. I thought that was ridiculous. We've already talked about that. When I'm replaying, I'm like, where the fuck is the knockdown? Like, I seen what happened, but yeah, that's not a hard knockdown. Their first round, both of the knockdowns are flash knockdowns. Thank God. Virgil Ortiz's chin is still intact. Yes, he might have he got dropped, but come on, Trinidad got dropped hella times too. It didn't stop his career. So those were not hard knockdowns. As matter of fact, that's what I wanted to check. Did they even give them 10-8 or were they 10-9s? Because, dude, if you're losing the majority of the round and then you get dropped, there's some judges that can do a 9-9 and nobody wins the round.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, so this is kind of suspicious. So on the scorecard that I found online, right, it shows that it was scored 10-8 for Boachuk.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But it doesn't show any correction. So it shows that they originally put it 10-8, even though it originally wasn't called a knockdown. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's a little fishy. That's fishy because
I figured if it was 10-9, they're like, oh shit, what is knockdown? Cool. So now they scratch it out, then they put the 8 instead of the 9. But it doesn't look like that on any one of these scorecards. So did they just get a fresh new fucking shit and start?
They had to have. They had to have, bro, because those scores are supposed to be done at the end of each round. Mm-hmm. So there is something very fishy there that the Nevada should speak on. If this was a real sport, people would be asking that question. That's a good observation by you, bro. They would ask the judges or whatever that question. How is it that you guys got it all right, yet 4 rounds later is when you made the correction?
Yeah.
That score should have been gone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're supposed to hand a piece of paper over to the ref. The ref then takes it to another guy that fills it out. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah, they turned it into the other. Yeah, and then the other one looks right. The other one, 10-8, of course, that they put for round 8 after the second knockdown, which they knocked down immediately. And to to Ortiz's credit, he tries to, deny it. Of course, he's like, no, that wasn't knocked out, right? And he kind of sort of protests it right then and there. But I mean, at that point, it's already done. I don't think he would have gone down without the punch. So that's
Oh
the best
no,
way
he
they can do
totally
it,
gets dropped.
right?
He
Yeah.
totally gets dropped, but in none of them was he ever hurt. It wasn't like his
No.
brain got jiggled, In the eighth round, he literally wins the second half of that round. Like he literally comes back big time. It's Ike Corte De La Hoya all over again. Dropped early, comes back. Wilder versus Fury, right? Fury gets dropped, comes back, does extremely well for the rest of the round. Ortiz had that going for him that night. But I'm writing these notes down as I'm watching the fight. In the second round, or in round 5, Ortiz hurts the champ. The crowd responds. Okay? And I got to bring this up, you guys, because you got to remember, this is a back and forth fight. There was not a lot of one guy just taking over, right? It was a lot of back and forth. So when you see a guy finally wiggle and the crowd jumps up and everyone's excited, dude, that's where that slight edge goes now to that guy, right? He's the favorite. He's the home guy. Now he's got the crowd behind him. And I seen him wiggle. He did wiggle, right? So, and that's in round 5. And that's twice that they have said he's hurt in this fight. It's round 5. Ortiz has been dropped, but they have said now Bochuk's been hurt twice. Then we talk about Robert. We talk about the crowd. That's round 6. DAZN, your live concert, please don't do it. Don't give a shit about KSI. What the fuck, Miguel? KSI? I'm not going to watch it, but it's just a bad idea, Eddie. I'm not even watching that whole fucking telecast. But I'm telling you right now, please don't be a fucking follower, right? You little copycat. They want concerts, we'll do it. Hey, KSI. Who the fuck is KSI, bro?
I thought he was a fucking YouTuber. And
yeah,
then,
I know.
And then he starts boxing, and I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? Now he's a rapper now?
Now he's the rapper, yeah.
Oh, god damn. What is
hey, whatever to stay relevant, huh? So anyways, Ortiz could have done more to the body. All right, we're in round 7. This is big. We're in round 7. 7 rounds have went by. DAZN is in the corner of Bochuk. They asked Manny Robles, who do you think's winning? Manny responds with, we are up by 1 point. 1 point? That's not a big, their trainer doesn't have their guy winning this thing outright. 1 point is 1 point, you guys. Round 7. So it's not like he was like, yeah, we're fucking boom, boom, boom. This is us. He's got his guy up by 1. Very close fight. 8th round, I bring up both knockdowns are kind of weak. They're just not really big knockdowns. I don't know. I was expecting a lot more when all the titles were like Ortiz dropped twice. I was like, oh my god, I was expecting a little bit more.
Sure.
Great second part of round 8. Bochuk hurt in the end of round 8. Bochuk hurt at the end of round 10. Bochuk hurt in the end of round 11. Those were so big. The boxing of Ortiz at the end of that fight was special. He was in a telephone booth fight with this guy, going back and forth. Both of these guys' knockout power is tremendous. And in the final 12 minutes, you're like, let's just start boxing? Are you fucking... dude, I was so impressed with Ortiz in those final 4 rounds. I started thinking, he does have a shot. Terrence is older. Terrence is still smaller coming up. We just seen he didn't take out the last guy that he fought, right? Virgil's got a fucking chin on him. You guys watch the fight? Even when he gets dropped, he gets up like, all right, motherfucker, let's go. And he goes after the dude. He ain't all scared and not covering up on the ropes. None of that. No. Not saying he's going to win.
No, but you see the sense of urgency. You see the sense of urgency. He gets dropped. He's like, shit, I got to get it back.
Yep. This is a fight. This is a big time fight. Him and Terrence better not take him lightly. He's young. He's hungry. He's got a chin. He's got power. He's got size. Oh boy. Right? That's what I seen Saturday night. I did not have this fight close. I have Bochuk winning 3 rounds. 2 of them he gets knocked down. I gave him 10-8 rounds, even though I was like, it's kind of bullshit, man. You're not winning this fight. Look, what I don't like about Bochuk, he fought too much on the back foot. You cannot keep getting backed into the ropes by the fan favorite in the arena who's getting all the cheering. You can't do it. When you guys are going back and forth and then it's you starting to go backwards, you're losing that round. I don't care what you think. Oh, no, I landed 2 more punches than he did. Oh, I threw 4 more. No, you are the one backing up. The crowd's cheering as the guy's following you to the ropes, and he is hitting you. He's hitting you just as much as you're hitting him. This was back and forth, dude. This was a draw until you hear the crowd cheer, until you see him get hurt 5 times. 5, and dude has a hell of a chin. Hell of a chin, but hurt 5 times in this fight. He was wobbling in almost half of the rounds. He's wobbling. The crowd's cheering. This is not a hard fight to score. Honestly, and I'm not knocking you, I'm knocking the internet. Not knocking you. Anybody. But I got to say that the hate for Oscar De La Hoya is real sometimes. I really do. Because I feel like some of the diehard boxing fans, when they see that they can get at Oscar, you know, just go on his DMs or go on his posts and, oh, sorry, dude, you lost this. Yeah, just troll. There you go. There you go. That's what it really seemed like on this night, because Virgil put on a hell of a fight. He put on a hell of a fight. He showed heart, determination, slugging, boxing. Come on, like, dude, what more could the kid have given, right? All judges had him winning the last 4 rounds. I have him winning the last 4 rounds. I'm sorry, when everyone sees the same thing, you can't say, well, it was something different. It's really hard. Boacek needed those last rounds, and I thought he got schooled in them. You know, he really does. And if you, go off his train, that's another one. Go off a Manny scorecard. Give him the 1 point, and then play out the rest of the scorecard with the judges' scores, and he still loses on Manny's scorecard too. Right? And he was up. He was up in round 7. So I am all in on Crawford versus Ortiz, but if I'm Turkey Ali Sheik, I'm going to do Crawford versus Boacek first. I'm going to do Crawford versus Boacek first, and I'm putting Ortiz on the undercard against another name. We got to if you want to maximize this fight with Crawford and Ortiz, you take this fight to whatever city that you're going to put it in. So if you're putting this fight in Texas, you take this card to Texas. You warm them up. What do they call it? You groom them. That's the new word for everyone nowadays. Now you're grooming shit. Groom this crowd, baby. If you're going to LA, you take this card to LA and you say in 6 months, we're going to be back. Do it like Chavez, Julio Cesar Chavez used to do. Announce that bitch while you're walking out to the other one. Remember how they used to do that?
Yeah.
He's defending the title tonight, but in September, he will be unified. Like, what the fuck? They already got it scheduled? He always did it. Him and Don King always did. So do that, dude. Terrence Crawford, Boacek, and listen, if Boacek upsets Crawford, then his Ali Sheik has his Ortiz versus Boacek at maximized on their rematch. You could take that to Texas and sell out Dallas Stadium. Seriously.
Okay, all right. So let me play devil's advocate here. Let's go that route. Let's say something like that happens and we get Crawford Boacek first. Wouldn't that be unfair? Like Boacek loses and then gets the shortcut, basically leapfrogs Ortiz to a big money fight with Crawford. I mean, granted, it does set it up, but number one, there's a risk of a spoiler. There's a risk of a monkey wrench, right? And then of a bigger money fight, because seeing the rematch between these two would be great, but it's not the money fight that it would be Crawford and Ortiz.
We don't know that.
Well, we know more than Boacek. I mean, we can say that, no? I think we can. It might not be a blockbuster pay-per-view, but I suspect it'll be much more money than Boacek and Ortiz rematch, I think. So let's say, for the sake of argument, that's the case. Boacek may very well be a monkey wrench. So who the hell knows what happens there? It's the same way it was with Usyk and before, AJ and Fury. And he basically leapfrogs Ortiz, who he lost to, and now Ortiz is like, man, what the fuck? How did I win and then I don't get Crawford next?
Ortiz, I do not want Ortiz and Boacek in the ring immediately again. They will ruin each other's careers. Styles make fights, these two styles are career enders. All right. I don't want to see another 12 rounds of Ortiz going through that shit again. He did it. He won. He should be able to move on. Now, if the whole boxing world wants to make a little hissy fit about the scoring on this fight, that's when His Excellency needs to step up and say, all right, I'm not putting these two in the ring again because you're going to ruin one of these guys. I'm not doing that. I'll put him in with Crawford, and Ortiz will go fight someone else. It's got to be a name. I don't know who that name is yet. It's got to be a name. Maybe they go look at Zoo again. Dead serious. Maybe you go back to the Zoo Ortiz fight, right? Because that's still a matchup for Terrence either way. Terrence Crawford wins on both of those, Zoo and Ortiz. They're both sellouts for Terrence, at least as far as the stadium. I don't know about pay-per-view. Stadium should be packed. But that's what I would do. That's what I would do if I was him on this one, because I don't want these two in the ring. That was a hard fight. Them guys knocked each other's heads off, man. And it's not going to make them that much money. Boacek will make a lot more money if he goes and fights Crawford, and Ortiz would better his career if he stood away from Boacek for a rematch. But
we'll be rewarding Boacek for the loss, though.
It was a great fight. It was controversial. He has the whole boxing world on his side, basically saying he won. So he gets his respect, right? All right, took a loss, but I'm still getting a shot at the champ. You know how fast he'll forget about that loss if you tell him he's fighting Crawford next, right? So that and it maximizes their match right now. With whoever's seen that Boacek Ortiz fight, they would definitely watch Crawford versus Boacek. And I hope I'm getting his name right. Sorry, you guys, if I'm not. But they would definitely watch this fight, because this sets up Ortiz now, right? If Crawford goes in there and mops Boacek up, knocks him out in 3, which I don't think he'll do, but if he does, like a monster, now all the Ortiz fans would be juiced when these two get in the ring, right? If he has a hard time with them, I mean, look at what the confidence level Ortiz goes at that point, right? Because then now it shows that Boacek is a real thing. And I'm telling you guys, I don't know if that's not what we seen Saturday night, was a new star forming in the junior middleweight division. That man had heart, he had chin, right? He had skill. That right hand was a thing of beauty. There's no saying that he's going to get beat in his next fight. There really isn't. We might have seen two new up-and-comers in the junior middleweight division. So totally in love with the fight. I wasn't mad about the decision. I thought Ortiz showed a lot of skill, man. That dude's not all he's not all face. And they were saying that. He's not all pressure, excuse me. He's not all pressure. Not anymore. He's got boxing there. I like him to keep his hands up a little bit more than what he was. But it works, whatever works for him. Maybe he knows he has a hell of a chin. All right. He's taken enough punches to call it himself. So definitely loved last night's fight. I thought it was a great fight. Thought the judges got it right. And it was all good credit to Ortiz, the way he boxed at the end. Listen, you guys, when you sweep the last 4 rounds, you're probably going to win the fight. And I didn't see anyone in there go, he took the last rounds, right? They're all talking about the 2 knockdowns, and that's all cool. That's all cool. But that one of those knockdowns is in round 2. I have Ortiz back ahead by round 5, you guys. I have Ortiz back up on top. So who cares about the knockdown, right? That knockdown's now erased in 3 rounds later. So that's one thing good about getting the knockdown early, and good for the guy that gets dropped, is when you get knocked down early, you have 10 rounds to make up that one freaking point. Just go out there, get Marquez, Pacquiao. Just keep doing your, working your magic. He got dropped, 3 times in round 1, gets a fucking draw?
In the first one, yeah. And it really wasn't a draw. Like, I think one of the scorecards was wrong. Like, it was supposed to be like a 10-6 round, and they still scored a 10-7, which caused it. Yeah, so, but regardless, it was, I think Jim Lampley said it best. It was poetic justice, because he probably did deserve the fucking draw after getting his ass handed to him in that first round. This is my concern as far as Boacek is concerned. He's a dangerous fighter, right? Meaning he's probably going to get avoided. He had a strap, which he lost to Ortiz. If at any point he had any leverage to say, hey, y'all want this belt, you're going to have to come through me, That's gone now. I suspect that he's gonna get tossed to the fucking back burner. It's gonna be an auto volleying type of thing, and it's gonna be like we're never gonna see this motherfucker again. And I think it's gonna happen to Madrimov. I think it's gonna happen to Boachuk. It sucks because of how much, like you said, we may very well have seen. Can you imagine someone like Boachuk against Spence or fucking
Yeah.
or Fundora?
Fundora,
It'll be
yes.
killer ass scraps, but he's a dangerous guy with now no leverage because he has no belt. I suspect he's probably going to get lost in the shuffle.
What I like about the situation is Turkey Ali Sheik. Look at the guy seems if he likes you, you're gonna get a fight. He doesn't care about nationality. He doesn't care about the big mark. You haven't heard him say, "I want a Puerto Rican and Mexican fighting like Bob always used to,"
No,
right? Be
or
all
Don came
racist
with the
about
little
it.
flag with the little flag.
Yeah, no, this man. It seems like if he wants to see a fight, he's gonna offer the money to get his fight. So, and I think there's an avenue for Boachuk still because of the situation boxing's in right now. I don't think there's any when you have a fighter of this caliber, you don't just put him on the sidelines. This guy is trying to make big time boxing cards. I think his name's going to be involved in these big time boxing cards, and not like it's Terrence in his next fight, but I just think His Excellency will use him again because if he's going to bring four fight cards, four fight cards, and they're all supposed to be not killer cards, well you gotta all hands on board on this one, or all hands on deck on this one, right? And he's probably in the 154 division. He is now a big time name because of the show that him and Ortiz put in. Um, yeah, it was a thing of beauty. I loved the fight. I loved how Ortiz looked, man. He gave me a lot of confidence going
Mhm.
into his future. Yeah, it was that those last 4 rounds when I seen him start bouncing, he started throwing the jab more. He was just countering. It was a total different guy than the first
Yeah,
eight
well, he
rounds.
needed to because I think
Yeah,
like you can see it. He was like puffing. He was sucking wind. He was like, you can see he was fucking tired. He's like, shit. This is and James Toney was one of the best guys who can fight tired. Like you just know how to do it. You know how to not exert 100% in every fucking punch, and you know how to take your time and pace yourself when you know you're like, damn, those few first rounds were hard. It's taking a lot of my cardio. I'm gonna have to box this motherfucker because that's the only way you can not use as much lung power. So I I mean, like you said, it Ortiz convinced me even more, knowing how hard of a puncher. I guess we found out how hard of a puncher Boachuk is, and he was able to take the punches. Yes, he was knocked down, but he got back up. It never looked like he was that hurt.
right.
Maybe bell rung a little bit short, but never to the point where he was wiggling that much. And he did that to Boachuk. So that impressed me. I was like, damn, if this dude can't take out uh Ortiz, I'm talking about Bochuk. I'm saying I don't think anybody at fucking 154 is going to do it. Not even Terrence. So great, great. What's that word? Like, he knew he thought he might have been behind Ortiz. I'm talking about, and he said, "Fuck, bite down on the mouthpiece and just go forward and march forward."
Yeah.
That grit. Thank you. Grit is what I was trying to think of. Of Ortiz is like to pull out those 4 rounds. Like shit. He's like, damn it, I don't give a fuck. We got to get these last few rounds and seal the deal. And sure enough, he did it. So he got himself a strap, interim 154-pound championship. So ideally in Andrew's world, we're looking at maybe next time around, Crawford and Boachuk, Ortiz, somebody else on the co-main event, right?
Yes, it's
Ideally.
especially if the news for the pay-per-views are real, Miguel. I
Oh
think you
yeah,
have. I
that was the
think you.
next topic. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to get Terrence out there a little bit more, right? This fight card would be big. You'd have a lot of diehards really hyped on a card that had Ortiz, just Ortiz, Crawford, Boachek, and then it's the fourth guy. It's the fourth guy, but you could make like a little semi tournament, right? A little mini
Mhm,
tournament.
mhm,
These four guys are going to go up against each other. Winners will face off next summer,
mhm.
right?
Okay, sure. All right.
And
So, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, 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 go ahead.
All right. No, so because like, I guess, I guess my only concern is in the event that Boachek pulls off a fucking victory.
Take it to
I'm just
Dubai. You got to go back to Dubai. Ortiz will be fighting Boacek in Dubai. You'll have the UK people showing up over there in Dubai. You'll have whatever Mexicans follow. Hey, Mexicans were in the World Cup, right? They get around. They're out. They're in the Olympics too. I heard. I seen that song playing. Did you see? They're all dancing in the fucking under the Eiffel Tower or
Yeah.
some shit, playing that one song. Um,
Yeah.
you know the popular one. I don't know it, but it's
Yeah, it's
all
fine.
over the internet, eh?
Right.
Fucking. So they get around. So they get around too. I think that it would suck for Ortiz because it wouldn't be in Las Vegas.
Right.
They'd have to go back to Dubai and let His Excellency sit at the comfort of his own palace to watch that fight.
Doesn't have to travel for that one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's just say that Crawford, wins and he moves on, right? He beats Boachuk. Who would we throw Ortiz in there with? Like Erickson Lubin or some shit? Like somebody, one of those kind of guys?
Once again, if and go ahead and announce the numbers first.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna get to. So this is again. There's no definitive answer, right? I mean, well, there's something that we do know for sure. One thing that we read / heard is that the Crawford and Madrimov card lost over $10 million. A lot of fucking money to lose. Granted, it's probably not that much for His Excellency, but frankly, no one wants to lose money.
No.
Doesn't matter how fucking little it is. I don't want to lose $5 for Christ's sakes. You know what I'm saying? So I can imagine that amount.
You won't be a billionaire if you're losing 10 million a shot, Miguel. Right?
Right. And I remember I want to say, isn't His Excellency like a representative of like some sort of board of sports or something in is Saudi Arabia or where he's from?
Yes, but I believe he's still the one that's worth the 8 billion or so.
Okay.
It's him. Yeah, that's worth the money.
And right, supposedly the card did roughly 100,000 pay-per-view buys. That's the number that's being tossed around, between 95,000 and 100,000, which is abysmal, frankly, for somebody the caliber of Terence Crawford. Furthermore, again, this is from Instagram here. Scores of tickets, thousands of them, were given away for the Crawford Madrimov show, and still the stands weren't full. Tickets were way overpriced. I don't know how much, but anyway, they were overpriced. And even when they were cut dramatically, it's not like they were in massive demands. I saw a post from Paulie Malignaggi, I think Paulie TV, of a video of somebody walking down some of the steps in that BMO stadium or BOM stadium, whatever.
BMO.
And he says, who says boxing is dead? Because there's a big ass crowd there. Well, this definitely doesn't it doesn't show very well when you're trying to make that sort of argument, considering how much money this card lost, the tickets being given away, and the abysmal pay-per-view buys. Wow, that here we go again. We find ourselves having this conversation pretty often, like, holy shit, the certain state of boxing, not to bite off of what ESPN's show is, because they have a show called the State of Boxing, but it's kind of, that's what it is right now. This is supposed to be a big deal, right? It was a great card. It had Andy Ruiz on it, right, against Real Big Baby, or Bill Big Baby, I should say, Miller, and then Pitbull. Pitbull Cruz against Valenzuela. This card, I mean, the fight, the main event, Madrimov and Crawford, that was supposed to have been, a pretty solid card. I mean, it was in Los Angeles. There's a, heavy Mexican communities, right? Where did they show up for Pitbull? I mean, Pitbull was on the card too. I know that Crawford is most likely going to get the blame for it because he's the main event guy and he's supposed to be the one that everybody comes to watch, and then it does these kind of numbers. But the rest of the card,
yeah, I call bullshit on that though. I gotta say, man, with that many Mexicans being in LA on a fight card, shame on them if they didn't show up. But you had Jose Valenzuela, you had Isaac Cruz, and you had Andy Ruiz, all fighting on the same card. I could have swore the LA area had a lot of Mexicans, a lot of Mexican Americans, right? Mm-hmm. I've got to blame Oscar De La Hoya, who said, "You don't come to my city, right, and put on a show without me." Well, where the fuck are your tickets at, bro? Where's your people? I got to blame Eddie Hearn, who's put on shows in LA before. I got to blame Bob Arum, who's the oldest out of all of them, who was sitting front row. How do three of the biggest promoters in boxing weren't able to sell out a stadium with this many names on it?
Could it, well, okay. I mean, this is what they're saying. Well, according to this, right, this is the tickets were overpriced. I don't know what the ticket prices were to be able to at least throw in my 2 cents on what overpriced is. If it's these many names on the card, like they're not going to be cheap fucking tickets.
Hey, right.
That's just how it is, right?
Yeah, exactly,
So
bro.
on top of that, we're gonna get fucking Eminem on the goddamn show. Like what does that mean? I'm sure that's one of the reasons why they lost $10 million in the goddamn card, because a nice chunk went to Eminem. But
Wow.
we're literally seeing Eminem on stage on top of these names. What did you expect the prices of the tickets to be?
Yeah, that's an unforgettable night. You're absolutely right. That for a fight fan, and Isaac Cruz, any of those guys, right? If you're a Terrence Crawford diehard, you got to see your guy and Eminem on the same night. You're absolutely right on that. That's a great call, bro, about the Eminem price and everything. That's what tipped the scales, probably. You're absolutely right. Because the Crawford and them made under 2 million, so it wasn't them. Yeah, I believe His Excellency does like to make money, because he wouldn't have announced the fight was a sellout if it wasn't, right? If he didn't care about that shit, he would have just been like, oh, it didn't sell out? Who cares? Don't really care. I'm going to make all the money anyways. But he didn't. He was like, oh, this is really hot. Sellout. No, it's not. So you're already lying. His ego's already been touched, right? He's already bullshitting on his numbers. Yeah, I don't. If this is true, this is why I'm going to go back to last night. This is why they need a Saturday night, excuse me. This is why they need to put Terrence out there a little bit more. Obviously, he's not a household name like we thought. The Spence fight, even though it did good pay-per-view numbers, they weren't the pay-per-view numbers that we're used to seeing these type of fights bring in. It was still under 1 million. And that was for the best guy in the sport, basically, right? Spence was like ranked 3rd, I think, when Terrence fought him. I could have swore he was pretty high up there on that list, pound for pound list I'm talking about. So those are 2 pound for pound guys, top 5, that didn't even break 1 million buys.
No, 750 I think is the number.
7, and people, we're talking closed circuit here. We're talking bars, casinos, home, all of that added up didn't break 1 million. So Terrence, obviously, there's reasons why Top Rank walked away from Terrence Crawford. They're starting to show their face. So it's this is why I believe you got to bring him and Ortiz back. You got to groom us. They got to groom the fans for this fight. Ortiz must. It's even possible Ortiz fights Fundura for that WBC strap. Fuck it. Like, I mean, Terrence wants to unify, right?
Sure.
So you give him the WBC champ. If he loses, say Ortiz loses and Fundura wins, well, now Terrence is unifying still the title, right? If they pick Zoo, there's only a history. Terrence would have to then go to Australia, I think, to fight Zoo. Terrence might not want to do that. If there's no belt involved, he might not want to travel to Australia. So that might get Zoo odd man out on this. Sure. It's ultimately going to end up to what Mr. Ali Sheik wants. But if I'm him, I'm trying to get Ortiz Fundura, probably because of that WB strap. There's a connection there. Now he owns the interim. He's #1 contender to that belt. And then you put Boacek in the ring with Crawford, and you take that fight. I would take it to Dallas. I'm dead serious. You know what?
I was going to ask you that. Was it a mistake to have it at that BMO stadium? Do you think? Because I mean, that's a soccer stadium, if I'm not mistaken, and it's fucking huge. So
no,
did they bite off more than they can chew and think, damn, we can't fill all these goddamn seats? That's the reason they had to like comp them basically.
The price range. You're probably right. It was a price range. If those and we would have to confirm that the tickets were all. But dude, what if the top row was $100, right? Because of Eminem, and they were gonna have to pay him. Yeah, dude, that's a market that's not really doing $100 seats. Has anyone ever seen the Chargers games, the Rams games after Super Bowls? How about the Clippers? Like the only one that really sells in LA is the Lakers, right? And
Right.
how many titles did the Lakers have to win to get that crowd there? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like the Lakers, they were the Yankees at one point of basketball.
True,
So
true.
everyone else in LA sucks. Go ask the Raiders. Go ask how they did out in LA. You know what they say is wrong with LA?
Mm.
There's too much shit to do, dude. You can go to Hollywood, you could go to the beach, you could go, there's so much to do there. Sports
Free
really
stuff.
isn't.
So much
Yeah,
free stuff to do.
yeah.
To
Well,
not
it's
spend
free
money. Well, because I'm saying like
entertainment.
instead of exactly free entertainment, instead of going to pay for a Raiders game or pay for a Rams game or pay for a fight, there's much more free shit we can do.
Yeah. So yes, they probably outpriced themselves, but the fans showed up. So I think if those tickets were reasonable, I think they would have shown up in LA. I've always loved LA. LA has always been a fight town, right? It's
Sure.
it's just been recently that it seems like it's moved away from boxing. On that night, I thought they had brought it back. Now it sounds like maybe they were paid actors, like the Kamala Harris fucking. Uh,
Yeah, the crowd at the
yeah,
fucking
did you see
airport.
that shit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the strip. Yeah, at the
Yeah,
tarmac.
yeah. Yes.
Uh,
So now it sounds like that, but what I'm talking about grooming is Virgil in Texas. Because him and Spence brought in so many people to that stadium, and when they fought on the same card,
mm.
Canelo I think did 40. Was it 46 or 64,000? He might have
at,
did 64,000.
at the Alamo Dome.
Yeah, at
Shit.
no Jerry Jones. It's a
Oh,
Jerry Jones Stadium. Remember they have 100,000 seats. Maybe it was
I did
46.
Canelo fight there. I thought Canelo was at the Alamo Dome. I mean, which I don't remember when he fought at that
I
particular
thought he
stadium.
fought at Jerry Jones, bro.
He might have.
Yeah,
I can't think
I
of that
think he
offhand.
did. I think he did.
Okay. All right.
And a lot of people showed up. There was, I want to say 46,000.
Mm.
That's what they need for, that if I was His Excellency, because I have no ties to Las Vegas, it's not like he owes anyone any money. And I gotta say, I don't really like his attitude, man. I hope
He's
he doesn't
getting there.
see it.
That's why we talked about it
Yeah,
last. It's like people are kissing his ass a lot. I
yeah.
think. I mean, he gets his ass kissed a lot. I'm sure in his country as well. So now he comes here with a boatload of fucking money, and people are like, and that's my dad actually mentioned this. He's like, I'm kind of glad that Canelo at least is putting his foot down, and even Gervonta Davis saying like, nah, fuck this. We don't want to do it because everybody's kind of folding. Everybody's
Did
kind of.
you see what he told? Did
Huh?
you see what he told Shakur when he walks up to Shakur and Eddie?
No, no, no. Oh,
So he walks up to Shakur and Eddie Hearn, and he goes, oh yeah, and excuse me, but he's like, hey, I want to do a fight. I know, it's gonna sound fucking
I
Irish.
love it. I love it. Don't ever not do it.
He's like, I want to do a fight with you, and he goes, everyone has signed. You need to tell me right now. He like literally tells Shakur that, and Shakur looks at Eddie and kind of looks at this dude like, "Who the fuck are you? Like, don't talk to me like that. Like, you tell me right now what's gonna happen." Like, I've seen him a few times. He seems like he is definitely a prince, a sultan, whatever the fuck you want to say. Like, what he says goes, or you could hit the fucking road. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. There's a lot. Yes, someone like Canelo, who's already on the back end of his career, is not bowing down to anyone. That dude's bank account, might not have your billions, but he has enough money to live
Right.
out his life.
Yeah.
He
He has
doesn't
enough
need
to not need yours.
exactly, and he still has a few fights in the bank that have nothing to do with him.
Mm.
So yeah, I didn't like how he talked to Shakur, man. I really didn't. He like basically told him right there in the front row, "Give me your answer on Cepeda now."
He thinks that's how boxing is done. I'm hearing. I mean, I'm reading a lot of it, and you could have kind of like guessed it anyway. But I'm seeing a lot of people saying like this guy doesn't know shit about boxing, and he's a fan, right? So he's coming in here and putting his money down so he can get the fights that we want to see as fans. So in that aspect, we're like cool, but his negotiations, his ability to actually like get people to the table, it really isn't just boom, here's a fuck ton of cash. And I mean, I'm sure there will be some that fucking come like roaches to the shit, right? But there are some that are like, no,
I I
Shakur,
feel like he doesn't negotiate at all. It's his say or you hit the fucking road.
mm,
I've given him an honest offer. It would be in his best. What did he say about Canelo? His best. Oh fuck! How did he word it?
Yeah, I forgot how he worded it, but you're right. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, it'd be his best. Come on, Miguel, work with me.
Right.
His interest,
Right,
best
My
interest,
bad. My bad. Best
to
interest. Yeah.
to take the fight. Right? Like, no, don't even talk back to me. Just sign, because this is the
Yeah.
best it is. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Hey, I like them. For whoever wants to play ball with them, so be it. Hopefully, you're getting honest money. Because maybe he is overpaying. Where the guys are like, fuck it, talk to me like that. I've never seen 3 million.
No,
Right?
yeah, and like funny that you mentioned that because a few seconds ago we are talking about maybe even potentially sue in Australia, right? You brought that up. This is what he had to say about that. Ali, fuck, His Excellency. He says, "I will not work with Tim Tszyu." Says, let him in his way doesn't understand. I guess what he's trying to say is that Sue doesn't understand. I don't know what exactly he's referring to at that point, but apparently he's got some sort of beef with Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu comes back saying, "Is this from my end? I really can't comment. My team is in town this week. Maybe there's been some sort of miscommunication from both sides. So hopefully we can sit down and discuss what the Olins in the future. I love to work with him because I like what he's doing. He's making big fights happen. So I don't know what shit has started popping off between Tim Tszyu and His Excellency, but already it's one of those things
If
where hold on, where like His Excellency is like butt hurt. It's like, oh, you don't fuck. I'm out of here. It's like, whoa, let's negotiate. Fool, fuck, what the fuck? Gets all butt
you
hurt after
said it.
bullshit. I'm saying like shit. But yeah, that already counting him out like no. I don't like that.
Well, you said it, Miguel. You had the answer in his statement. My team isn't here. So what Zoo's saying is, I don't make the decision without talking to my guys. And what His Excellency said is, why not? I make all my motherfucking decisions,
Yeah.
right? That's kind of what he's saying to him by saying he's not. What do you mean you're not going to talk to me right now? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, good for Zoo. He's sticking to his guns, because you guys, once you start talking without your representation, your team, what do you really need them for? I just struck my own fucking deal. Right? Your manager would probably be pretty sweating bullets. He's not going to be worth shit in a year or so if the fighters are now striking deals with His Excellency. So it's very cool that Zeus said no to that, to whatever they were talking about, until he talks to his team. So Zeus staying loyal to his team, because someone that's loyal to money would have been like, let me call him. Hey guys, I'm gonna do this interview with this guy real fast. They're like, hey, wait, you don't want us? Yeah, click.
Yeah.
He's gonna go. He wants to talk money.
Yeah.
So Zoo's not being loyal to money. That's good. That's good. Davis possibly. I think Davis is banking more on the pay-per-view numbers that Al Heyman is feeding them guys. I think they believe they're gonna be Floyd Mayweather, even though the PBC platform has not shown us this yet. Actually, hasn't done anything for boxing. It's almost been a year. So. And then you got Canelo. And I think Canelo's attitude and this guy, they don't go together. You can tell right off the bat. Canelo be like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised, because we know, I, again, hate to throw fucking Oscar under the bus, but Oscar was there, right? Eddie Hearn was there for the Madrimov and Crawford, and Bob Arum was there. I would not be fucking surprised if Oscar is in this motherfucker's ear saying like, "Yeah, Canelo's a fucking dick," yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Oh shit,"
Yes.
and then Canelo puts his foot down and says no, and then I say, "You see, I told you, he's an asshole." Isn't like, oh shit, now we have ourselves a beef because of. I mean, not just solely because of Oscar's petty ass, but I'm sure he doesn't help.
He started the fire. Yeah.
Yeah. He started stirring shit up, I think, right off the bat.
Yep. No, I buy that. Totally. Behind closed doors, you totally hear him saying that. Both of them on each other, but I agree with you on that one. And as soon as Canelo gave him that attitude, he was like, you're right. Fuck him.
Yeah, exactly. Shit. All right. Well, that was, yeah, damn, it sucks to hear those numbers as low as they are. Maybe, and I got these off of somebody else. It's not normally who I get them off of as far as the numbers go, because I usually hear Rick Glazer, right? Say like I usually see him on his Twitter account, but I didn't see it on his Twitter account this time. I want to say he's coming up, he's calculating the numbers, and he'll get them by next week. At least is that like the full numbers? So I suspect that we might get a more accurate number usually will have them by now. But again, as we've seen time and time again, whenever the number is not great, they tend to kind of keep it on the lowdown and they don't actually say it. So we don't know what the numbers are as far as pay-per-view buys go, but regardless, losing $10 million on the fucking card, maybe I don't know, maybe not just the price on the tickets, but also a different arena. That's I'm leaning towards a different arena, maybe Staples Center or some shit like that, one of those like closed arenas and not a fucking stadium like that. Because goddamn, yeah, there was a lot of people, but apparently there was a lot of thousands of tickets were given away. We should have gone to California, Andrew. Shit.
And I'm trying to look up. California always releases the numbers. So we should have a live gate here coming out from California. The State Athletic Commission should be releasing those. They never hide that stuff. That's where we're going to really see how many tickets were given away, right? If they only come back with like 2 million on the live gate, when we seen there was 15,000 people in that building, that's when you'll be like, ooh, they did give a lot of tickets away. So that's what I was looking up to see if that had already been released. I did see the salaries. Did you see that? The purses?
The 2.5 for
Yes.
Crawford. I didn't see how much what's his name got Madrimov got.
Everyone else was under half a million, I believe. Everybody, the whole card. I was kind of surprised on that. Even the heavyweights. I was like, damn, they're not making $1 million. They're only making like 300 grand or something like that for the fight. So yeah.
Well, I mean, look, we're talking about someone who's been inactive, for some time, in Ruiz, and then what's his name coming off of suspension, or I mean, having a couple of fights, but Miller coming off of suspension.
All I'm saying is there's big athletes in other sports making more money on the bench, right? On the bench, bro. There's guys making $1 million. These dudes are putting their life on the line. One's an ex-heavyweight champ not too long ago, and he's not even making 500,000.
Well, that's that. I mean, not to I guess bring up old stuff, but that's kind of the Don King model, no? I mean, there's only so much money you can put into the main events, and then the rest, whatever's left, goes to the undercard, and he has to shortchange them. I mean, I don't know if shortchanging is a proper word, but it's like you can't give them all big fucking paydays. You would want to, you would think, seeing these many names on the card, oh shit, this payroll, the total bankroll for this whole fucking pay-per-view card was a buck ton. Well, when you see Eminem's name on that shit and you see where he got the majority of the goddamn cash, it's like, okay, clearly this guy has his priorities elsewhere. But yeah, well, I mean, that's really what it is. You would think that these guys would get paid a lot fucking more, but again,
and I stand corrected. Isaac Cruz made 1.5, so one other fighter did take over $1 million.
All right.
Bang. Well, so that's good.
So to be, and it's like half, almost half of what Crawford, the main event guy, got. All right,
I know. Good. Damn, Crawford. Well, he's not even making that much more than Pitbull, bro. 2.5, and the guy under you made 1.5. Damn, poor Crawford. And 36 years old.
Reportedly from 25 million against Spence to this. Again, we're not talking about a big superstar in Madrimov. I get it, right? We're not saying this guy is a pay-per-view star himself or anything like that. So understandably, the payday isn't going to be like a Spence type of fight, because with risk comes reward. But it was a high-risk fight with Madrimov, but not much of a reward because of how few people actually knew him. So I would understand a lower payday than his fight with Spence, but 2.5. And mind you, that's just what was reported, right? So we don't the guaranteed purse. Maybe there was something on the back end pay-per-views. Maybe he hoped it was going to be more on the pay-per-view and decided to say, okay, I'll take the 2.5 as long as I get pay-per-view points, yada yada, expecting the pay-per-view buys to be more. Even live gate stuff like that, right? He was going to get money on that. I'm sure he got money on all the sponsors, the Prime fucking thing that he's got, or what is it? I forget what it is. He's got that chain that comes out, right? I don't know if that's Prime the drink or BLK Prime, or that he fought on a pay-per-view card a few years back. But anyway,
I think I thought that was for the drink.
Oh, is it the drink? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I was like, damn, because remember how like he fought on that platform, right? BLK Prime or some shit. I thought that's what it was, but yeah. So I mean, he making money elsewhere, I'm sure, but that guaranteed fight purse 2.5, yikes.
He's 36. He's undefeated. He literally made a whole promotional company run. He made Manny Pacquiao run. He made Gamboa run. He made Garcia run. 2 Garcias. Look at the disrespect. 2.5, bro. You're undefeated for how many years? He's been top 3, maybe not number 1, but top 3 pound for pound for how long? A decade? Fuck. 2.5 million.
He signed the contract.
I know.
He agreed
No,
to
I
it.
know.
It's
obviously
at
he's
what
hurting.
point? Yeah, well, I mean, but is he though? Shit, I mean,
yes.
25 mil from fucking,
Yeah,
against.
but that could have been sold. That was his first 25 million. He might have been in debt. You know what I mean? With just everything he's been doing since becoming thinking he was going to be this big time millionaire. He's 36 now. The boat is almost passed him by. I hope he's there for a little bit longer, but damn, at 36, you know, fighting as long as he has, it's not like he's been on the shelf or hiding somewhere. He's been winning titles in other countries, in his country, from multiple fighters, not just one guy. I don't know, man. Yeah, that sucks. 2.5 million. That's a sucky payout for someone. Dude, this is our best fighter, Miguel. This is what our sport's offering, the best guys. I'm sorry, if my son is 6 foot something and can throw a ball, I might be switching sports. 2.5 million, please don't die.
I know, right? Yeah. Yeah,
Damn.
no, I hear you, dude. That's that I mean, I don't know. What that Okay, so um Crawford leaves Top Rank, doesn't have that kind of backing. Is this a result of that? The same way, His Excellency tried to kind of get Shakur, like, hey, answer the question now, kind of thing. Could this be a result of that? Could it be like, I mean, granted, he leaves Top Rank. He has a couple of fights, Crawford. I'm saying, then he makes it big with Spence, but then after that, this uh, could this be that like I don't know, like I'm not sure how to explain it, but it's almost like the backing, the representation that he would have from Top Rank isn't there. So here he is making these dumbass fucking deals because there are people behind him saying, dude, don't do that shit. And now Ali Sheik says, boom, sign this shit, and he says, cool, 2.5 mil.
Yeah, and it almost seems like he's in the same pay scale that when he left Bob. It's almost like he left Bob just to make the Spence fight, get his one check, and now you're back to being the same old Terrence Crawford that you were before Top Rank. So Al Heyman sucks too, I guess, right? He must be racist too because he can't do shit for the black guy either. Just saying, I'm just using what he was saying about Bob. Ali Sheik, racist. Can't do shit for him. Everyone must be racist, Miguel. That's what I'm going to put as a title.
It's like the reason for Crawford's shortcomings. Everybody's racist.
Everybody's racist. Go to court.
Might as well.
Pull that race card.
Could this be a cautionary tale for Shakur? To be like, fuck, I shouldn't have left Top Rank, or shit, should I go back to Top Rank? Because it could be that he's gonna leave. Well, technically he's already gone, right? He didn't resign with Top Rank, and he doesn't want to take that nice offer. He might make his next fight a fuck ton of money, and then back to the same Shakur he was before. The same way this has happened to Crawford. Cautionary tale.
Yes, I believe so. It depends on what His Excellency has in store for him, though, because Shakur has a hit list in front of him that can make him a lot of money if Mr. Ali Sheik is willing to write these checks. Mm-hmm. So he might be in a good place just staying with him right now. Bob couldn't get these fights, man. He was being blackballed. He's 96. I don't know if he's as sharp. And when I say that, you guys, I'm not talking about talking on the camera. I'm talking about 24 hours a day being able to answer a phone, being able to talk boxing. Bob might be asleep at 7. Bob might be taking naps at noon. Like, he's 96. Don't fucking knock him for it. You know what I mean? The man might have old shit things he's doing. Yeah. Might be at doctor appointments a lot nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck, eh? Yeah. Over here, like, I'll take that call later. Well, they move on to the next guy, right? Like, ain't no one waiting for you. So for some reason, a lot of Top Rank's cards haven't been up to par as of late. I've got to say, even when Shakur fought his last fight, the guy's a nobody. Fucking Telefimo fights his last fight, the guy's a nobody. It's like, there's hella hit people out there on their hit list. Lopez and Shakur are in two fucking powerhouse divisions. Where the fuck are they at, man? That's what I keep saying about Telefimo. Now, I'm glad you were right. Telefimo was there. He was trying to work it. But what I'm talking about is, where is the zone talking about him? Why isn't there more push for Lopez? Like, this is a big fight for Lopez Crawford I'm talking about, you guys. This is a big fight for boxing, not just the promoter or the platform. What happened about the fights for the sport? Like, this is a fucking Super Bowl. We need to get this Super Bowl on. You have a 2-time undisputed and a 2-time undisputed. First time ever. 2 guys got undisputed in 2 divisions. That's a Super Bowl. Why aren't we talking about it? You ever seen in another sport 2 number 1 ranked teams not being matched up? They're fucking 7 pounds away from you. Now they're a little bit farther, but I think Crawford come back to 147 if the fight's worth it. But it's just I don't understand why Telefimo's been blackballed like that. I've got to think it's Top Rank. I've always been a fan of Top Rank. You know that. I love the ESPN connection and all that, but it just seems as of lately, Bob is not getting his guys these big fights, and some of it might be his fault, age and all that, and some of it's these guys were being dicks and they were blackballing each other, right? And Top Rank was just out of the loop for a while. So if I'm Shakur, I don't know if I want to go back. It hasn't really worked out for Telefimo. Telefimo's getting paid, but he hasn't had the big fight, the pay-per-view. He's not a household name, right? What I'm sort of complaining about right now. So it hasn't really worked for him. He's just getting paid. He's making $1 million, right? Once again, though, I'm telling you guys right now, the dads are going to be looking to other sports if we don't get this right. Our face of our sport cannot just be making $2.5 million, you guys. That's chump change. I'm telling you right now, there's backup quarterbacks in the fucking NFL that make $16 million sitting on the bench, bro. 16 mil. There are basketball players, Miguel, that play for like 12 minutes in the season. That might be 20 minutes the whole season.
Still.
They're making 12 million that year. They make $1 million per minute. They're on the fucking floor. Crazy, right? The numbers that these other sports have are absolutely ridiculous. But if your kid is truly an athlete, and we know boxers are, how many times have you heard, he could have been soccer, he could have been baseball, he could have been there. They're always got these stories. I'm not talking about you small featherweight, 140 pounds or less. What do we say, 150 and less? There's not too many sports you guys can play in. But everyone above that, no, man. Your 6'1" guys, your 6 foot guys and higher, no, they might start looking elsewhere.
Yeah, and I'm glad we touched on Shakur, even though like he was kind of half of the subject, because that's kind of a good segue to what I was coming to next with the contradicting stories that I've read so far. I've read, right? Again, this is
right.
There's no sources, right? There's just people on fucking internet saying this shit. That Shakur Tank is set for November 23rd in Las Vegas. That's what I read. Then within the same week, I read Shakur fighting Cepeda October 12th on the Beterbiev and Bivol undercard. So I don't know who the fuck to believe. It seems more likely that he's going to be on that Bivol and Beterbiev undercard, maybe against Cepeda. That's what it sounds like. I doubt he's going to fight fucking Tank, although we all want it, of course. But Beterbiev and Bivol is partly at least on Beterbiev's side, a top rank card. Is he going to go back to that? Cepeda, yes, he's on with the Zone and Golden Boy.
And Miguel, you're missing one. You're missing one. The last time De La Hoya and Ali Sheik were in the camera together, they wanted Ortiz Crawford with Cepeda versus Shakur as the undercard. And His Excellency is the one that said that. He's like, let's get it done. So he has them fighting on 2 of his cards right now. He has them under Beterbiev and Bivol or the Crawford Ortiz. So yeah, Shakur his name's being used a lot right now. Who knows where that's going to land?
Yeah. So which I mean, I guess in your opinion, because I don't think that fight with Tank is likely. I don't think that one's really. It's more so most likely it's Cepeda. Um, which one do you think is more likely? Because one says November, one says October. Which one do you think is which?
I think it's Cepeda,
Yeah.
because the Tank fight, I think, is going to have to build a little momentum for the price that Tank is going to want. I don't think I don't even know if His Excellency is willing to pay the big boy prices, right? He's already turned down Canelo. Canelo is a big boy price. Gervonta Davis, I heard, makes 30 million a fight now. Isn't that what he told us the other
That's
day?
the last. Yeah, that's the last. I haven't heard it confirmed, but I did hear it. Online, of course.
So His Excellency just lost 10 million. Now you want him to sign a guy for 30? He'll be 40 million in debt before he makes a dollar. I don't know. I know he's a billionaire. I just don't know if that's how he became a billionaire, was by throwing money out the fucking window, right? He better have a good turnaround coming in somewhere else. Um, so I don't think it's going to be Davis. I think they have to let that fight build. Cepeda seems right, dude. Cepeda would be happy with the say he made 2.5, 1.5 million. That's probably the bonus that guy's waited for his whole life, right? He doesn't fight for money like that. So it's a huge pay raise for him. I think he takes the fight in a heartbeat. And Shakur, they'll work out a good solid price. I got to say 2.5 million, the same that Terrence Crawford made. I couldn't see them going any higher,
Yeah.
right? And these are all discount deals for these fighters, man. Like, these guys, they might have worked themselves in a corner here by going to just one man,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the promoters can't say shit because he can outbid them. So it's not like these promoters will go, don't worry, don't fuck with him, fuck with me. Because if they started coming together, right? Uniting and going, you know what, Mr. Ali Sheik, we don't really like what you've been offering lately. We're going to go walk somewhere else. Well, he'll just up the pay more than what Golden Boy and them can do. He'll work with them at that point if he really wants to get involved in the sport. He would then negotiate a higher price. And at the very end of the day, it's always going to beat Golden Boy, Matchroom, and Top Rank.
But you think he's willing to do that, especially after losing 10 fucking mil
No,
over something like this? Like, he'll have to think twice before, like, oh shit, I'm not, I think he would finally get the clue. These promoters aren't paying these guys this amount of money because they're not getting it in return. Yeah, I can outbid them because I have the deep pockets, but that doesn't mean ROI for me.
yeah, I think really these promoters make the most money when these guys are on their come up. I think once you hit Floyd Mayweather, Leonard, Ali's status, you're kind of working for them at that point and just hoping that you get a piece of the pie. But on the come up, when you're getting Shakur at 2.5 and you're selling out pay-per-view and arenas, that's where they're making their big money coming back, right? Oh, we did 20 million for the fight and we only had to pay him 2.5 million. But if you have to pay him 25 million and you only made 20 million for the fight, well, now you're fucked, right? So I think,
But don't they usually like bring other avenues, like the way Canelo signed with DAZN for X amount of dollars? DAZN, there's only so much money coming out of the promoter's pocket. It's like DAZN is bankrolling the rest. I mean, that there's different multiple sources of income coming in. I don't know if the promoter themselves is going to bankroll the whole fucking thing, especially when
well,
you
he
know as
still has
far
to
as
make
like,
that deal, though.
yeah, he still has to make the deal for
Bob
sure.
Arum still has to sit
Right,
down and make
right,
that. So
right,
it's still like they're still somewhat involved in the guy's money. I see what you're saying though. HBO did the same thing. They would pay for, but it was
right.
still Bob Arum going and saying, "Hey, I got this fight. This is why it's good. I want this much money for it," and then they would say yes or no. Um, so and so that's where I think His Excellency outbids everyone at this point. They let him in the hen house, and now it's his hen house, right? I
Mhm.
kept telling you guys, and it seems like that's the way this is going to play out. Now we're hearing stories of him asking for fighters to commit without teams even being involved.
Mm.
That's not from me. That's from Tim Zoo. Go look it up, you guys. Tim literally said, "My team wasn't here. I can't talk." And that's what you're supposed to say when you're honest to your manager, your promoters, your coaches. Yeah, you want everybody involved when you're making these type of decisions, but he doesn't play like that.
Yeah, it's
And,
about
and go,
representation.
yeah, and I'm telling you guys, go watch the LA fight, Crawford Miramov. It's like at the right before the main event. They might even have it on Instagram, the meme. But go look how he talks to Shakur. He's like, I want to know right now. Like before he sits down, bro, he wants your answer.
uh,
So
yeah. He clearly he pushes his weight around. He
yes,
definitely does that, and that's why, like, and but my brother-in-law mentioned this when we were watching that fight. He was like, they're really kissing this guy's ass quite a bit. And I'm like, well, yeah, he's kind of putting all his money down. Yeah, they're gonna kiss his ass, I'm sure, but I'm not sure. It's one of those things where at the front end right now, we're liking what's going on because he's making some fights happen, and he's being recognized for it, which I'm sure he fucking loves. He's like, yeah, I'm making these fights happen, and don't you forget it was me who made it happen, kind of thing. But on top of that, it's like, where I don't know how to say it. Like, where is the
Mon-
point where it's diminishing returns? Where are we getting
monopoly,
uh,
monopoly in a business or an industry is never a good thing. Go ask the MMA guys how their payouts are with the UFC, bro.
mhm,
It's never a good thing when you only got one guy writing checks. And that's where kind of boxing's at right now. This man's sort of becoming the UFC, and I can only say that because in his first pay-per-view event, I seen the rest of the promotional world sitting with them.
mhm.
The fuck was that? I'd never seen that before. I've never. Hey,
It Oh, go ahead.
go
Sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's the double-edged sword. It's on one end we're getting the fights that we want to see, I guess, more often, but on the other end, it's one dude payrolling the whole fucking thing, bankrolling it. I mean, so one person writing the check, one person gets to say how much these fucking fighters are making. You know what I'm saying? But on our end, we might get the fights that we want to see, but at the same time, it's like, damn, these fighters are probably we're heading in that direction where there's too many fucking one person writing checks. Go ahead.
And matter of fact, in baseball, you can be under 150 and make it baseball. So
You're still
baseball,
on that? I forgot about that conversation.
shortstops, third basemen's, right? The second base. These are all smaller dudes, man. No, Miguel. I'm telling you, when you start seeing American boxers, we already don't have a lot. But when you start seeing the Americans turning away, bro, everybody got a raise except boxing. Matter of fact, it really sounds like boxing got a pay decrease. It really does. The payouts that I'm hearing nowadays, even Canelo had to take a pay decrease, right? During the COVID times, they went and reworked his fucking contract. Why are they reworking, taking money? Yet in basketball, they're making 400 million. In baseball, they're making 400 million. In football, they're making, I think, 200. I don't think football has done a 400 million dollar one yet, but they're getting there. They're getting a raise this year on their salary cap. Football is, so their players will be making more money this year when all these signings come in. If I had an athlete, dude, I love boxing, but if I am blessed with an athlete who can pick a sport, soccer makes the most money, right?
Yeah.
So how,
Tennis,
look,
for fuck's sake. Tennis.
yeah, bro, I'm picking something else. And my kid gets beat up in the face all the time.
And the brain. No, I hear you,
Yeah.
because we're already seeing it with U.S. heavyweights. We don't have a lot of American heavyweights anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yep.
like, if you're a big dude like that, you're more likely to lean towards big money football contracts. If you're a tall guy, you most likely lean into fucking basketball contracts, and not where you're gonna fight. Fucking getting your nose bashed in. You go on the first day of training, go first day of fucking sparring, and you lose a goddamn tooth or some shit. It's like, yeah, I don't want to do this. I'll bounce a ball and dunk. I don't know. I will get paid much more money than get paid, get busted in the fucking face. So yeah, we're already seeing it amongst U.S. Americans, because we're not getting. I mean, shit. The last or the most recent, hope that we had, when real big baby Anderson getting knocked the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, there goes that. But again, those are the few that we already have, and we're kind of already failing with those, because the overwhelming majority of guys, if they have size and they're good at any other sport, they're not choosing boxing.
No, especially a heavyweight. If I'm
Yeah, and
6'3" or
particular heavyweight.
above, dude, yeah, I'm going NBA. I'm going offensive line, defensive line.
professional
It-
wrestling, for fuck's sake. You're going something else. You know what I'm saying? You're
yeah.
using your size to your advantage like that, because a lot of people, like back in the day, now there's MMA, so guys have a different avenue of making money who come up, judo black belts, or collegiate wrestling or Olympic wrestling. Back then they didn't have that shit, so they had professional wrestling. So they have to go to professional wrestling so they can still take advantage of their athleticism and their athletic background. But again, when we're talking about boxers, we're not. I mean, I didn't keep track of our Olympics this year, but was there a U.S.? I'm sure there was some.
We had one. I think
Oh,
I
was
know,
it?
and I didn't keep track of it either because of the shit that went down. I really only paid attention this week. Or you know why?
Mm.
Because we were in the hotel, so my I know it's gonna sound dumb. Me and my wife were like, well, they're not getting ratings from our TV. We used the
Uh,
loophole to watch the medals because fuck them guys. I didn't like what they did this year to how that opening was. So we blackballed it here in our house. But
mm.
then when we were at the casino, we were like, well, it's not really our TV.
Yeah,
Click.
yeah. It doesn't really count, but we'll tag along.
There were some great storylines, man. The races, the high jumping. Dude, the Olympics is something else. It really is. There's nothing like it. The way these athletes perform under the lights, world records everywhere this year. The drugs must have been off the charts because there was world records
the,
everywhere.
the masking agents must have been off the
Fucking,
charts. This
fucking.
fucking LA.
What's his name from the Bay Area? Uh, the Vada guy.
Oh,
Ah,
I
I
can't think of
can't.
his name.
Victor Conti.
Oh,
There.
okay.
Yes.
I
Yes.
was gonna say Vontae. Like, fuck.
Business is good right now,
Right,
Mr.
right.
Conte.
Yes, yes. See, if he's if boxers aren't making any fucking money, he sure as fuck is. Uh, that's for damn sure. All right. Well, I guess one of the other topics I wanted to talk about, because we did talk briefly about Mr. Canelo, is his fight coming up, of course, with Berlanga. Very peculiar thing. We talked about it before you got on the show because we wanted to touch on it. If you watch the press conference between Canelo and Berlanga, one thing that you might see on the banner, I should say more on the podium, is the PBC and Prime logo, right? Amazon Prime logo. Oddly, that's the only place you've seen it, because they didn't mention it for shit. It didn't seem as though they said, Al Heyman PBC or PBC Premier Boxing Champions. None of that shit. They had PBC guys like the Flores brothers, right? Ray and Miguel Flores. They were there doing the thing. I'm sure Brian Custer was there. It was basically a PBC card the way we're familiar with it, although they didn't mention it very much. To what degree are these guys in it? Because Canelo, right? We've heard Canelo say, "Thank you, Al Heyman, for fuck's sake," thank you, PBC. That's when it gets mentioned, but it isn't on the banner. It isn't. I mean, it's on the podium, but everybody else, they had TBG Promotions there. The guy from TBG. What the hell? What the fuck was that about? That seems a little strange, huh?
Al Heyman is the first one that you'd probably ask, why are you here? He has no money. He has really no fighters. All of his fighters are on the other side of their
Everybody's
careers
looking at
now.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. All the young guns left. Um, it almost seems like Canelo's the only one keeping him relevant by mentioning his name. Um, when Lara does it, no one hears. When Garcia does it, no one hears. Right? It's really only Canelo. When he says it, that's when people hear it. I totally caught on to that, dude. Like, he's not. I think the only connection Al Heyman has to these guys right now is that he has that Amazon platform, and he's probably offering that thing up as a good faith. I don't, just mention us, and they work a deal where whatever Amazon brings in, they're gonna split, obviously, right? It's not like they're doing the shit for free. But at a certain point, when does Amazon tell Al Heyman to hit the road, right? You've done nothing for us. You're bringing guys that can work their own content. I'm telling you right now, people, motherfucking Saul Alvarez does not call Al Heyman during the day to ask what his future is. He's not. He makes his own calls. He does his own decisions. Al Heyman was always his puppet, just like he was for Floyd. You know, that's what they do. So I think there's going to be a time where if Amazon stays with boxing, they're going to move away from this whole, can we take the PBC off of our logo? They're not even doing anything with us. Like, I don't get it. The last two fights Canelo has been in have nothing to do with PBC. Jaime Munguia has nothing to do with Al Heyman. That is Golden Boy. That's Matchroom. Like, Canelo, go say thank you to them. They're the ones giving you that fight. Don't say thank you to Al Heyman. He didn't give you Munguia.
Well, is it part of the contract? We've heard that, right?
Oh, yeah, no, it probably is, and it's
right?
part of him being bitter. And Floyd did the same shit to Bob and Oscar. He did the same shit. He was so bitter when he left.
Oh, okay.
He wouldn't give them any props on what they did for his career. It was all, Al Heyman, Al Heyman, Al Heyman. That's all. If you guys go look at Floyd's interviews, it's all he talked about, even though it was Oscar selling the fucking Oscar's fight card, Oscar promotions on the thing. There was no PBC back in the day. It was fucking Golden Boy. Don't get it twisted. There was only one promotional company on that banner that was paying you $100 million. That was Golden Boy. But he's bitter. He hated him so much he didn't want to give him any kind of attention or respect.
Credibility.
Yes.
Credit for, like, bring him to. I mean, because a lot of fighters went with L. So what would Floyd to some degree not entirely be right, but didn't Al take him the rest of the way to be Money May and nothing? I guess. Oh.
I've always said it was the De La Hoya situation that got him to Money Mayweather, right? It's when he beats Oscar, when he becomes the $1 million pay-per-view guy. Then you have the rise of the UFC and the nervousness of boxing Vegas on what was happening. Remember, Vegas doesn't like the UFC in the beginning. Matter of fact, they still don't, because they were connected to the Ventura brothers were connected to casinos. They had it. There was a
Fertitas, yeah. Oh, they still don't. Dana White says it to this day. He's like, the MGM treated us like shit. That's why they don't want to go back to the MGM. That's why they go to T-Mobile. That's why they go to the Sphere. But today he says it. The MGM treated us like shit. So
yeah. So they've never been liked, and I think that Floyd played that card a lot. That's the whole Manny Pacquiao thing was about 6 years to make this fucking fight. Get out of here. Get out. What they would have made in 4 years before didn't change 6 years. Matter of fact, their pay went down, to be honest with you, because Manny was already. No one thought Manny was going to win that fight, you guys. I was there. I don't know if you were there. I was there. There was no big. There was no big Filipino presence out there. Like, they were all fucking. Like when Tommy Hearns fought Leonard, you seen that HBO special? They said all Detroit showed up. They put all their money on him. No, that wasn't like that for fucking Pacquiao. It wasn't. I was dude. It was ghetto as fuck. I'll be real with you.
Yeah. No,
What's that ever been to? Was the Mayweather Pacquiao? It was fucking crazy out there, dude. It's fucking dudes not paying their bills, fights.
Did you go to fucking?
You couldn't go to a restaurant without hearing an argument, dude. Real serious. Serious. Soon as these people were getting their bills, there was complaints coming about everything. I was like, oh fuck, here we go. Can I go? Can I get my check? I just want to leave. There was girls talking about being prostituted in front of my casino. They're like, bitch, I didn't come out here just to fuck. I was like, oh my God, what is going on? There was people sleeping in the parking lots. It was one of the most ghettoest things I had ever seen, that fight. No, it was not. It was not the Super Bowl. It was not the Super Bowl.
Were you there for Floyd and fucking Mosley? Because that shit was pretty ghetto too.
Yes.
I don't know if it was that bad because I don't remember seeing that shit, but it was pretty ghetto. Yeah, it was pretty ghetto.
Yeah, no, I was there, but no, they were overfilled. They had no room for everyone that showed up, right? And then some of the people didn't want to pay the room rates, so they were just sleeping in their cars in the fucking parking lot. And yeah, that was a crazy fight. It was nothing near what it would have been 2016 when Manny knocks out Cotto in December of 2016. That fight is at the highest it ever would have been. Manny's walking on fucking water at this moment.
2016. Not 2016. Earlier, because they fought in 2015, didn't they?
15?
Yeah, Floyd and Manny. I'm saying Floyd and Manny
Oh
fought
yeah, you're right. You're right. You're
that was
right. Damn
right
it.
before.
So when did Cotto and Manny fight? Darn it.
10, 2010. I
Wow,
don't know.
are you serious? It was that far back?
I'm not.
Anyways, that is the fight where it was at its peak. There was no higher
2009,
than
November 2009. Good Lord, Jesus. Okay, 2009.
yeah. Because well, hello, I just said it took 6 years to make it. So that's where I'm getting that.
There you go.
That's where I'm getting that from. Is because I always knew that Cotto win for Pacquiao. That was the biggest. That was the highest that fight was at. Ever since then, Manny was having decision losses, got knocked out. Like it was downhill. It was all downhill. But anyways, Floyd played that fucking ticket. That's what got him all this money. That's what got him all this attention from Vegas. The
So not L,
UFC.
then, not L.
No, it was not L. No.
Al didn't take him the rest of the way as well. I guess what I'm asking, because that's that everybody in their goddamn contracts had to fucking say it. Thank you, Al Heyman, and shit like that. That's where we're seeing.
I honestly think that's why L didn't make Floyd the face of his company. L never attaches Floyd to PBC at all. And I think it's because he was lying half of the time when him and his dad aren't in that room. When they're not in the room, I think the fishing stories were, oh, I caught a fish this big, when Mayweather knew the fish was actually that big. And at some point, Mayweather was going to be like, you know what? The fish ain't that fucking big. Stop it. Right? Like there would have been a bumping of heads, because I think L's stories just went through the roof when Mayweather's not in the room on what he did for his career. That's just my personal opinion. The fact that none of the PBC guys turned into Floyd, kind of, I stand on the correct side of that one, because nobody does. And he had $750 million to make a Floyd. He had how many undefeated records and $750 million, and he doesn't make one Floyd. So, and to be honest with you, before Floyd, we were talking Vernon Forrest and Paul Williams were his big. What fucking major fights were they ever in, Miguel? Vernon Forrest is the fucking welterweight undisputed champ, gets no big fights. Well, he got in Mosley, but seriously, Mosley's not the cash cow. Trinidad, Whitaker, De La Hoya, these guys are all the cash cows back then. Vernon gets none of them. But Paul Williams, one of the most incredible fighters in the welterweight division's ever seen, he won't get any fights because Al Heyman does him and Mayweather, so he doesn't want them to fight. If I was Paul Williams, I'd be like, give a fuck about it. What the fuck? I'm not even making any money. You know what I mean? Like, it's all. No, those were his two guys before Floyd started fucking letting them teabag him after every fight.
What connection, I guess, besides what we, as far as the damn logo on the fucking on the podium, what is out? Where, I mean, I gotta say where is out, because that dude is always missing. But PBC's connection here is just
he's the middleman.
His involvement is their connection to Prime.
I believe once Mr. Ali Sheiks gets the phone number to Prime's guy, I think you're going to see that PBC thing come off their Prime Amazon platform thing. I believe he's the middleman, and that's all he is. He's the connect. Once the connections reach each other, middleman's gone, right?
Okay, all right. Do you think His Excellency is interested in that? You think he wants to get, because as of right now, we don't have any free cards on Amazon, right? We're only getting all fucking pay-per-views and shitty numbers on pay-per-views. Now we're seeing, well, I guess we don't know the numbers yet for Crawford and Madrimov yet. We know the official numbers, I mean. So he's got these issues over here with shitty pay-per-view. PBC is doing crappy pay-per-view over here with Amazon Prime. Is His Excellency even interested in trying to move, toss Al Heyman out of the way and then work directly from? Because keep in mind, if he does business the way we've heard him do business, like, no, Shakur, you tell me now, that's not gonna fucking roll with Amazon. Amazon's not gonna be like, oh yeah, we're gonna fucking bend the knee. Like, no.
I don't know how far Amazon's just a platform, bro. They might not give a shit about how this man talks or what. All they know is you've got two fights. We know these guys. You're going to put it on our platform. We'll sell it. You'll give us this percentage of what we make. Handshake, and they're done. I don't even know if Amazon, until we see that boxing works on the streaming side of this app, Amazon is only in this for pay-per-views, in my opinion, because that's all they've done. is pay-per-views.
Wait, what do you mean on the streaming side of it? The free fights, you
Well,
mean?
yeah, the free fights. Until
Okay.
we see a Netflix bring in 40 million or Amazon. I only say Netflix because they had Paul and Tyson. And I really thought that was going to show the numbers of what boxing can do on the streaming side and not the pay-per-view side, which would then make Amazon go, hold on, are we actually approaching this correctly? Should we be trying to stick more to streaming? So that's what until I see that happen, Amazon only got in this because of pay-per-view. The PBC never brought them a fight card. They don't have any schedule. They came and said, we have this fight. And they were like, oh, yeah, we'll do that. You know,
They still don't have a schedule. They still
yeah.
don't have, if you go to the BBC website right now, you're still not going to see a schedule on their shit.
Yeah, no, and I don't think there's one to be put there because Al's broke. He has no platform. He's getting paid by nobody right now. He's literally just goes to them, oh, I got this fight. You guys want to use it? Yeah, we'll use it. All right, cool. And probably gets the lowest percentage on that money. I mean, it's like I said, dude, once the Amazon gets in connection with His Excellency, I think Al Heyman's out. And there's nothing anyone it should have already happened, right? He got lucky with striking that deal with the PBC. I think they thought the Canelo fight was going to be a lot bigger than what it was. I think that was a big letdown for them. And then didn't they do a heavyweight fight? What 2 fights did they do so far? They did Canelo. No,
Gervonta. Yeah.
But another one that bombed. I mean, you're talking about he went to the table going, hey, this guy just did 1.4 million. What you got for us? What you got for us?
Yeah.
And they were like, man, 1.4 million. Yeah, those are Floyd's numbers. Yeah, we're going to make 100 million a night with this guy. Put on the fight. They didn't even do 200,000.
Yeah. Yeah. It was more like, who's he fighting? Frank Martin.
Then they're like, we got Canelo. We got Canelo. And Benavidez was on the undercard to Davis. Still didn't do shit. So the Prime is like, yeesh, weren't those 2 of your best guys? And then you bring Canelo. He's supposed to be the face. Bam. Just not a good place right now. I think Al Heyman, I don't even think he enters that building. I'm serious. I don't think he's ever been to Amazon Prime. It was all phone calls. The deal seemed too easy to be made. It just seemed too easy to be made. It seemed like a phone call could have made that deal. You know, they got no money attached. There's no guaranteed money. There's no, you just give us a fight, we approve it, and we open a slot for you on our platform. That's what they agreed to. I don't think he even went into that building.
Never had a face-to-face.
No. All phone call.
All phone call. There's a very, 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 very good chance that this fight with Canelo is not going to crack 1 million pay-per-view buys. It would be nice, you know. They're trying to come at it from the angle of Mexico versus Puerto Rico. We've heard Oscar try to clap back at it, saying this motherfucker's from Brooklyn or where the fuck he's from. He's not even really Puerto Rican, right? So
that was fucked up. You know, I lived in Puerto Rico longer than you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I married a Puerto Rican chick. I don't know where you've been, but yeah, he straight up fucking trying to call him out on that shit with Oscar signing his old bitter ass. But anyway, like, you know, we know there's a very, very good chance that this fight's not going to be that much of a pay-per-view smash. We're about a month away, a little over a month away from Canelo Berlanga. Just based off of history, based off of what we've seen so far, I want to say his last fight did 550, I think, with Berlanga.
Munguia.
I'm sorry, Munguia. Thank you, Munguia. How many pay-per-view buys do you think it gets with Canelo Berlanga that's coming up? Because mind you,
I think it's going to be the same. I'm going to go with the same. I don't think Berlanga adds too much to what Munguia did. One, Berlanga's not that hot anymore, right? He kind of now hopefully they're already kind of done with the promoting on. Like you said, they're a month away.
Well, we're going to have the week leading up, obviously, but by that point it's too late. Because I was just going to say that because he's much more of a fucking figure, right? He's talking more shit. He's trying to build the fight. He's a loudmouth as Berlanga is. Definitely not the quiet, more reserved guy like Munguia, who didn't do jack shit to sell that fight. You don't think it does more, at the very least, because of the shit talk that Berlanga's doing?
Because of all of Canelo's fights have been around 500,000 to 600,000. All of them. His whole time at Eddie Hearn Matchroom has been a 500,000 pay-per-view buys. I don't know if Berlanga's going to bring in. Berlanga might bring in 50,000 homes, which is a lot of homes, Miguel. Right? It's 50,000 TVs, but that ain't shit when you're talking about pay-per-view buys, right? But if you said, hey, no, you had 50,000 fans show up to buy his, well, that's cool. You had 50,000, but it doesn't move the needle when Canelo had 500,000 already show up. Now you're only at 550. Do you really think Berlanga brings in more than 50,000 homes? I don't. I
No, not
really,
even if he tries to come pull that angle of Puerto Rico
bro,
versus
50,000 American. I'm talking about Americans. 50,000
okay.
American. I'm talking about the American pay-per-view. Fuck no. I think that's all he has. He better be happy if he has 50,000 American Puerto Rican Americans or boxing fans that are willing to spend money on his pay-per-view. That would be cuz bro, he's a nobody. He doesn't even have a fucking title. To say 50,000 people dropped $80 to watch you, that's a good start. But is it Canelo's level? Fuck no. No, that's why I don't think that he moves the needle at all on the pay-per-view buys. Expected to be around 500,000, the same buy rate.
Okay, so I'll go ahead.
No, that was it.
Oh, so let's say that happens, and we have another replay of Canelo and Munguia, and they do 550K. Is this the last straw? Going back to the original point of the conversation with PBC being there, does Amazon now say, okay, look, we've given you plenty of tries, fuck out of here. At this point, are we going to continue the partnership with PBC? Are they out of the question, or does Mr. His Excellency sit back and just like, as soon as this shit happens, it's like, okay, now I'm coming in here. On top of, let's just say Canelo's with Al Heyman, right? PBC, and that's the connection with Amazon Prime. The fight doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Here comes Oscar's bitter ass in Mr. Excellency's face, and hey, let's knock Canelo off this fucking platform. You go directly to fucking Amazon, get PBC and get Al Heyman, get Canelo out of the way. Fuck him. Let's ostracize that son of a bitch. And then we have, is this Amazon's last or PBC's last chance at making something work with Amazon?
It would matter on the contract that they signed. I think they would have to honor the contract, but I think that's where, like all of Al Heyman's contracts with these networks, as soon as it's up, it's over. He had to move on, and I think the same thing happens with Amazon. As soon as this contract is up, whatever it was signed for, a year, I don't think they would have done too much longer than a year because it's a lot of unknown, right? So you think that the first contract would be small, see how it, see what happens. Al Heyman obviously gave him his best. Benavides, Davis, and Canelo, that's the best. That's all he has, right? There's nothing bigger names in the PBC than those three guys, bro. They don't even generate 2 million buys. Three dudes, like no, it's
Combined.
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean that's kind of what I was asking, because I was thinking, does let's say, I mean, again, depends on the contract, of course, but let's say Amazon says, all right, we're gonna have to pull the plug on this shit because it ain't working. Um, will they now potentially strike some sort of deal with His
It,
Excellency, just out of bitterness, out of spite, I meant to say?
it will be on what Ali Sheik wants to do with his company. If he's a pay-per-view company only, then they do the same thing they're doing with L. When you have a fight, bring it to us. Dude, has anyone noticed some of these fights have been on ESPN, DAZN, and Amazon? Like Miguel, we have 3 platforms showing one pay-per-view event nowadays. Have you Tyson Fury versus Wilder was on both PBC pay-per-view and
Well, that's because they each represented one. No, I mean that's
yes, but it was never like that before. Right? Wouldn't the two guys just come together? We never seen like, come watch the fight on Showtime and HBO Saturday night.
we've only seen it twice. Lewis Tyson, which was a big fucking deal, and Floyd and Manny, which is a big fucking deal. Showtime and HBO came together for both those fights, and that's like top of the fucking. I don't know how many pay-per-view.
Yeah, you're talking about 100 million on the payroll though.
Yeah,
So there's almost
those are the two. You could count them on one hand.
50 million guaranteed was on that payroll for both of those fights, bro. It's a way bigger ball game than we're talking about there. But no, it seems like. And then the other day, I heard on the press conference, DAZN Amazon, or your local cable network. So 3 platforms you can buy this fucking thing on. We're still not doing good numbers? I don't remember it like that before. I really don't. When Tyson and all them were fighting, Evander Holyfield, Roy Jones, all these guys were on pay-per-view. I don't remember them going, you can got 3 different numbers you can call to order this fight. Almost seems desperate, bro. Like, hey, whatever we can do, however we can get this fight out there, let's get it out there. And you know, maybe it works. As of right now, it hasn't. Well, it hasn't. No. Yeah. All these platforms is not generating numbers, man. It's kind of scary. And now, and I seen Terrence's purse a few days ago when they released it. Now it's bad, bro. 2.5 million for Terrence Crawford. Have we ever seen a fighter take a 25 million contract fight, win the motherfucker by classic, career-defining, all-time great status, and then get 2.5 million 2 fights later? He hasn't even lost.
No. 1 fight later, right? Was it just...
Hey, HBO's like, can we get back into this fucking sport?
Yeah. Right? Remember how you were talking about, like, you're like, they kind of have to starve them a little bit?
That's right.
It's like, they're out, and then they come back in like, all right, I guess clearly y'all don't know how to fucking do this.
Yes.
It's like,
and they might want to...
They back down to 0.
They might want to strike before Amazon gets hot, right? Before someone does catch on to the game and finds out, oh, this is how you sell pay-per-views. I mean, HBO might want to think about it because they're coming pretty cheap right now. You can get the face of the sport for 2.5 million. That's a fucking deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can make you know, Crawford and whoever the fuck else with maybe 6 million total. You know, it's like Jesus. You know, split between the two and the undercard.
And they have a streaming app now, right? Well, and they always did. HBO Max, correct?
Yeah.
We need to know how many subscribers do they have? You know, what are their numbers looking like? If they were to put a fight on HBO Max, what would their streaming numbers look like? Maybe that gets them back involved in the sport. I don't know, but yes, we definitely are starving the top fighters if that's what Terrence is making, and Andy Ruiz can't even get $1 million. He's an ex-heavyweight champ. Not that far ago, not that long ago. Still can't make even $1 million. I'm telling you right now, I could probably Google NBA player tears up both knees, signs for $10 million.
Yeah. $10 million while he lies in the hospital bed.
Yeah, don't know if he'll walk again, but they're gonna risk it. Yeah.
But the checks are clearing.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Hey, the NFL draft. Our draft pick last year, he walked on the fucking stage in a boot. He had a boot, Miguel. He was hurt. Still got number 1. Boxing. Where are we at?
Yes, that's let's not ask that question. Let's just be happy with what we got, and they're still around, even if it means 3 goddamn streaming services that we have to. Because I never even noticed that when you mentioned that. Like, I mean, I realized that because when Garcia fought Gervonta, they had it on like regular PBC pay-per-view, and then they had it like on DAZN or some shit, right? And I ordered it on DAZN because I already have a DAZN subscription, and they were offering a fucking discount, you know, because you already have the subscription. So it wasn't the $80; it was like $60, something like that. So I was like, all right, cool, you know, which is cool, but not realizing, like, not remembering, like, oh damn, they actually had it on another pay-per-view platform, which I think was regular, because I got Dish, you know, Dish Latino, the Dish Latino package. So you can order the shit on your regular cable or satellite provider, you know, besides the I mean, because mind you, back in the day there was no streaming services, there wasn't anything like that. So now it's like, damn, 3 different avenues or 4 different avenues to order your fight, and they're still doing abysmal numbers. Good Lord.
Yeah. And you gotta think that might make it a little difficult to add these numbers up, huh? When you're waiting for so many platforms to turn in what they did, it's just not as easy as when
to tally up everything.
Yeah, yeah. Like, remember we used to just call the cable company one guy, right? Mm-hmm. That is weird. That does seem like it'd be it. There's. I'm also gonna put this out there. Here's my little. What do you say? Your little tinfoil hat.
The tinfoil hat. Yeah.
Hella money being lost in all those platforms. I hope these fighters are watching after all their money. It just seems like you can hide a lot when you have, oh, we're waiting for those checks to come in, you know?
The check's in the mail. You know, we do over
Yeah.
there. Like,
It's-
no, in the digital age, you're supposed to direct deposit. No, we do it. It's in the mail.
It just seems like it's real easy to hide things when you have that much room to play
Mm.
with.
Makes sense. Definitely a possibility. You know, I like those kind of ideas. You know, those thinking outside the box. You know.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that wraps it up. We don't really have much boxing this weekend. We have some fights on ESPN Plus. The super middleweight powerhouse knockout dude, Christian Mbili, taking on Sergey Derevinchenko in a 10-round super middleweight bout this weekend. If I'm forgetting any other fights, I don't think that I'm pulling it up on the ESPN website. There's not really anything else beyond that. In fact, after this weekend, we might have a couple of weeks of no fucking boxing
Damn.
until like early September. So if you're an MMA fan, you got some UFC fights to watch. But in the meantime, there ain't jack shit. So as far as boxing goes, I guess the end of summer is kind of meh. But anyway, that's all we got for you tonight. Andrew, did you want to check the your feed just to see if there's any breaking news that we don't see that I didn't catch earlier? Because frankly, we were able to get everything we wanted to get out of the show, but nothing beyond that really. Um, yeah, that's pretty much what we got.
Mm, nope.
No,
No,
no
not
break.
so. It's just, oh, Terrence Crawford says it's laughable. Nah. Yeah, did you see him say that? It's like Terrence. Someone needs to sit Terrence down and be like, dude, he's all. Why doesn't Canelo want to take the fight? If it's an easy fight, you think you would take it in a heartbeat? And it was like, Terrence, and I'm not doing it verbatim, but that's kind of what he said.
Mm, mm.
Um, it's like he doesn't want to take the fight because everyone's gonna tease him for taking the fight, right? And
Yeah.
especially the way you looked, we would even clown Canelo harder for. I mean, this is worse than Amir Khan, right?
Mm,
That's where that would go to. So it's stupid that Terrence is going down that road. Just like
yeah.
the whole Bob can't do a racist thing. I guess everybody's racist.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Even Canelo apparently, right? Because now he doesn't want to take the fight with him. He's like, oh,
Ah,
fucking racist. Oh, jeez. All right.
sorry.
What is that? Is that Pornhub? Come on now.
Oh no.
Like that very famous drum beat.
Hey,
But anyway,
is there anything that's more scarier than when your company asks for the work phone? My company, they were like, "Let me see your phone. We got you a new one." I'm like, "I didn't erase shit yet. You gotta hold the fuck on. I'll tell you that right now." Start deleting. I start deleting just whole text messages. And then when I give it to him, I'm like, "Willie, don't fucking text me," because Willie would be like, "Text me, hey, what's up, dick face?" Or you know what I mean? You sucking someone off right now? Like, bro,
my
what the
twins.
hell?
Oh damn! It's like, hold on, let me clear my browsing history and the
Yeah.
cookies and caches on the shit before I hand over this fucking phone.
What's up,
Uh,
faggot? Like, damn, dude, my boss read that. Fucking
yeah,
jerk.
it's like, who's Willie Face? Who's this guy? Like, nobody's boss. Just erase it, please. Uh, you know,
Titties, some titties just popped up on your screen, Andrew. Like, oh,
yeah.
fuck.
It's like, what is this meme, this Giphy of he's like this guy motorboating some titties? I'm sorry. You know, it's Friday. We're about to clock off. My apologies. Uh,
Ay, ay.
But anyway, thank you so much, as always, people, for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the show and hope you enjoyed us talking shit that we like to do. There's not much fight coming up this weekend, not too many fights, but we'll definitely be back because I'm sure there's going to be some news this week that we would like to bring to you. So, as always, we appreciate you guys stopping by and listening to us yap for as long as we do. Enjoy the rest of your work week. It is Monday, so please enjoy the rest of your work week. We will see you guys next weekend. Take care. Peace.
I swear to God, I'm hitting stop.